Hello everyone, today we're looking at one of these. This is a Benefon Forte. Now that probably doesn't mean much to many of you. Benefon is one of those manufacturers that made phones primarily for the NMT system. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a Nordic mobile telephone system. They had up in Scandinavia, mainly in Scandinavia. Other countries adopted slightly different versions of NMT. There's two versions, there's NMT 450 and NMT 900. But countries like France, for example, they took the NMT system, tweaked it a little bit, changed it around, and they made their own Radiocom 2000 system. Or like the CNET system, out of Germany and Austria, for example. That was based loosely on the NMT standard, but they changed it around a little bit and then tweaked the specifications and mods. So Benefon made phones for the NMT systems, basically, or similar to the NMT systems, or cellular systems based loosely on NMT. And this phone was for NMT, which is probably why not many of you have heard of it. Certainly, the guys out in America probably never heard of Benefon. If you have, you're probably an elite collector or someone who knows a thing or two about cellular networks. I'd expect people out of Scandinavia to know Benefon. They got a whole bunch of smaller handsets as well nowadays. But yeah, this is the original box. Believe it or not, it doesn't really say much on it, just the Benefon logo. So let's take a look inside. Now, unfortunately, I don't actually have the manual for this. I do actually have the charger for it, and I have the car charger as well. Which is real neat, actually, I think. So, because basically, this is the charger. And you'll notice that is actually a much smaller connector to the normal car cigarette lighter adapter type thing. But they supply you with this in a nice little case with 4 little buttons there, and I'll show you why that is in a second. Let me move that out the way. So, and of course, you got the phone obviously in the box. And the phone, they did two variants of this. They did like a leather case type of bag phone like this is, and they did also do a briefcase version of this. Got the original antenna. Unfortunately, the top has started deteriorating, which is a real shame because this is starting to show. But anyway, so basically, they did two versions of this. They did one which was like a bag phone like this, basically. This is the bag variant of it, I guess. And they did obviously the briefcase type variant as well. I'm not sure if the briefcase was a made to order. I've only ever seen one of those in a museum, and one other one in a private collection. And I don't have the briefcase variant of this. Probably because it's super rare, and probably because it was only ever available in, you know, Scandinavian countries, or, you know, Russia or Estonia, or, you know, Eastern European countries where they also had NMT systems. So anyway, let me give you a quick rundown of what you got with this. You got basically the handset itself, which is this. I'm gonna fire this up in a second. And the handset's got a real funny connector, which is like a D type. That hooks up to just up here. I forget the right way around. And you got one other connector, which is your power there. I don't think there is anything else that you can connect to this. Now, when you're carrying this around, the handset slots nicely into here. And you got the shoulder strap. And that's how you'd carry it around. Now, the antenna, which I'm just trying to find, where does that go actually? That's a very good point. Oh, the antenna goes up here. So you'd have that like so. This is of course a 450 phone, which is why the antenna is so long. And you would carry that around like so, over your shoulder, until you got a neck ache or a shoulder ache, because this thing ain't light at all. Now, you might notice these 4 little buttons. I'll show you that in a second. Let me take the antenna off because that's starting to get in the way. The convenient thing with this phone was that basically you kind of had the option to carry the charger all the time. Basically, these 4 little buttons here matched up with these, and you could hook up the charger to carry around. If I can get this, these are tough little cookies actually. I'm not sure I'm actually going to be able to attach that. You might need to take the charger out and push real firmly because these are tough little cookies. So yeah, basically the charger, you had the option of carrying the charger or not carrying the charger. So let's take a quick look inside. This is the actual charger that comes with it. If I can get it out. And obviously this was super portable because actually the charger doesn't actually weigh that much at all. If I can get the sucker out. There we go. So yeah, this is obviously a European connector because this one's out of Europe. And actually this doesn't weigh much at all actually. It's not got a big transformer or anything. I think this is probably a switch mode power supply, if you guys know what that is. In fact, that probably doesn't weigh much more than this phone here, the 601, my personal 601, MR601. This is actually not that heavy. It's actually quite deceiving. You'd think this was a lot heavier, but it actually isn't. It's pretty light. So basically, and you got obviously the cable that slots in here like so, and obviously the other end, which is that, plugs into the phone itself. I'm going to power this up in a second. So this is a dual mode cigarette connector. You got the little one, which obviously plugs into here. Some of the old phones like the Siemens have this kind of connector. I think some of the AEGs even have these. One of the really early Bosch transporters I have also has this sort of size thing, and this was how they were, and obviously they standardized the larger size. So this is a dual one because it's got both the small and the large. So the small obviously fits in here like so, and if you got a car adapter like that, that would obviously fit like so. So let's power this guy up. I got my my 6 or 7 amp 6 amp 72 watt 12 volt power supply just up here. I ain't gonna use this one. This does work though. I did try it with this. This is just a bit small though, so and we do things big out here. So the power goes up here. Let me get this the right way around. Now it only goes in one way, I think. Yeah. So there we go. It's beeped already, and it's come on. It's come to life. So let me see if I can if I can actually work this. So power it off first, and then power back on, so you get the full thing. I'm guessing that's the number it was assigned. So this isn't really menu driven as such. There isn't a menu button, but it's got a few hidden functions. It's got an F button there function, and what you do is you press 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. Number 4 key, number 4 doesn't do anything. I'm not too sure why. I guess they obviously left that out. But so what you do is you just go function 1, and then you can set the volume. The ring volume, I think you can set the ring volume. I thought you could with 1. Oh no, you press OK first. How did I do this before? I thought function 1 was the volume. Oh yeah, it is. There we go. So up is obviously and minus is volume down. So, and then you go OK, and that should disappear, clear. Function 2, so F2, what do we got here? You got answer, ring, show M, not too sure what that is. So ring, if you go ring, you got, this is the ringing volume basically. So you got 7 levels, you got 0 to 6, hit OK. There is actually different ringtones in this as well. And I did change them before. I'm not too sure which. I think they were option 5 or 6. 3, you got beeper, car mute, I think, low power, extra alert, I guess that would be, lights, beeper, and that's pretty much it. So beeper, what does that do? Beeper on. That'll be the key. That'll be the keytones. We just turned them off, haven't we? Yeah. So let's turn them back on. So hit OK. Hit on. There we go. You get the idea anyway. So let me quickly find. There you go. 4 doesn't work. Don't know why. Function 5 tones. That's what we want. So you got a choice of. 10 tones, 10 ringtones. Wow, which is something for phones this old. So what do we got? So that'll be number 9. Stupidly, you gotta go back in. So number 8. What's the other one then? Let's have a look. Tone 5. Now that doesn't sound right. It's the same tone. What have they done here? Frequency, mode, volume. How can we not change the? How can we change the tone on here? That sounds like the same tone to me. I'm not too sure why that's doing it, but in the menu it does say that you can choose, 9 different tones. Not too sure why they all sound the same. That is a bit strange, if you ask me. Okay, so what else we got? Function 8, ACALL, memory. What does memory do? On or off? Got 2 options. Okay, let's stick with on. And then we got function 8. No, we just did that. Clear that. What does function 9 do? Times. So I guess this is counters. Count times 0. So counters would probably be lifetime counters. Not too sure what that is. Lin answer. Okay. Let's try that again. Times. Let's go for times. Last. So this would be last call timer, I guess, would in today's speak. What is that? GT. Oh, G total. Global total. That would be total. So 3 hours, 20 minutes, and 1 second. So actually, this phone ain't been used that much by the looks of it. You don't think you can actually reset it, can you? Total. Nope. So yeah, I mean, real neat phone. It does take a while to. Guess that's the last number, or the number stored in slot number 1. I guess I don't know how I did that. It does take a while to get used to this, and I don't have a manual for this, so which would make it a bit difficult to work. Real neat phone. It is quite a solidly built phone, I have to say. I mean, that's pretty rock solid. I do have some transporters like this where you go like that and it has the wonderful iPhone effect. The bendy iPhone effect is what I call it. If you're not sure what that is, look it up on YouTube. iPhones bend in your back pocket. Certainly the last batch of iPhones they released, they bent in your pocket. This phone doesn't. I got a couple of older phones where this is a little flexible, not too good in terms of build quality. This, on the other hand, I mean, you couldn't quite use this as a meat cleaver, but you could certainly need some dough. Put it that way. I'm gonna stick to the clean version. Not saying you should need dough with this, but you could do a whole bunch of other things with it. Benefon Forte is what they're called. This is, I think Benefon are actually a Finnish company, just like Nokia or Nokia. It's just that Nokia were obviously a lot better at marketing and getting their phones out, and Benefon didn't do so well. It's not a very well known maker phone anyway. So I'm not sure what the other buttons do. HF, not too sure. That doesn't really do much. That obviously increases the volume. I'm trying to actually get the ringing volume to increase or decrease. I did manage to do it before. I'm not too sure how I did it. This is the thing. Without a manual, Can't really repeat that. And there's no side volume buttons either on this, so it was literally just up and down. Let me try and quickly dial 999. I'm not saying you should on any phone unless it is an emergency, but this operates on NMT 450, and we ain't anywhere near an NMT 450 cell, so I'm pretty sure this is not going to trouble anybody. Now the question is, how do you dial out on here? My guess is HF. Nope. Okay, well, oh yeah, this is actually in operation now by the looks of it. Certainly those two LEDs have come on, so I'm guessing maybe that's trying to do something. Probably won't get me anywhere because there's no service for these things, but I'm going to cancel that. If I can try and cancel it. Well, that ain't worked. Okay. If all else fails, oh, there we go. It's decided there's no service. But there you go. So yeah, real neat phone, like I said. I can't really tell you much else about this, except that if you do see one of these, grab it, because there's not many of these around. I know a couple of cell phone collectors, and they ain't got one of these. So, and certainly to find a box one, I was real lucky to get this. So, one last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to power this off quickly and try and get the phone out of the bag, so you get an idea of what it looks like. I don't normally do teardowns, but I'm pretty sure not many of you guys have seen one of these in the flesh. So I'm going to try and pull this out. So, and this is actually a real snug fit, believe it or not. In fact, yeah, I will get that out just. So this is what the phone looks like. It's got a nice big heatsink at the bottom, and actually, I forgot to mention, the lead case has got some holes at the bottom which let the air in. There's not really much else I can say about this. It's just a black box, unfortunately. A couple of connectors for the antenna and the handset and the power. That's all you got. Nothing else on any of the sides. So, and this is obviously the bulk of the weight. Like I said, that's all I can tell you. Benefon Forte, look them up. And check out some of the other videos if you haven't already done so, and give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Got any questions, pop me a comment. I'll try and answer as best as I can, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.